During the pandemic, people have been working from home. And since they've been working from home, they believe that they can take on 2 or 3 jobs.
There was no honesty. Even the delivery was not happening really.
So we have to question ourselves, are we hiring or are we buying?
As the IT industry, it is essential to ask ourselves how long we are going to sustain its position as the preferred offshore destination.
From a government point of view also, I share the same concern and anguish.
A revolutionary solution has been developed to address these problems. The National Employee Regulatory System, NERS, is seen as the need of the hour by industry experts.
We welcome you all for the historic event of launch of product, National Employee Regulatory System.
It's a centralized platform built on blockchain to enforce industry good practices for IT ecosystems, stakeholders such as employer, IT employees, end customers, and nation.
Where I've seen the problem is it's all pervasive, right? It comes right across the industry. We find that business is at a crunch today. During the pandemic, people have been working from home. And since they've been working from home, they believe that they can take on 2 or 3 jobs. And that becomes a problem for us because when your employee costs are going up, where is the sustainability for our organizations?
From a government point of view also, I share the same concern and anguish. This is something which a few employees may benefit from, but in the long run, it will cause very serious damage to the IT industry as a whole. India's recognition as a IT powerhouse first came when the Y2K problem was identified largely in the US. And at that point in time, many of our homegrown Indian companies, they kind of saw this as an opportunity. They created solutions, they deployed those solutions, and thereafter, the reputation of India as a powerhouse for technology where solutions can be created, deployed so easily at an affordable cost, that became true. Post-COVID, I have spoken about it on other forums also. We see a similar Y2K opportunity because the pace of digitalization is mounting like anything. And much of that digitalization opportunity can potentially come to India. But if our reputation is spoiled by these kind of practices, by behaving unethically, it will create a serious impact on getting new projects, getting new companies come to India, set up their capability centers here. It will have a very serious repercussion on everything.
A lot of discussion in various forums within companies that why are we facing this kind of a problem?
We need to set back and check ourselves at what cost we are addressing these challenges in the organization. We have not only compromised our ethics, but actually contributing exponential salary inflation and also to the unemployment rate. As the IT industry, it is essential to ask ourselves how long we are going to sustain its position as the preferred offshore destination.
So we have to question ourselves, are we hiring or are we buying? So when companies started buying people, then employees stopped negotiating and now they're auctioning.
NERS will simplify compliance both for employers and employees in India across sectors. Numerous talent recruiters and experts have backed the platform. Listen to the 2 panel discussions held to mark the inauguration of the service.
The discussion which we are going to have from the employer perspective and also the employee's point of view and the overall impact on our nation. And my first question to you, Dr. Lakshman, is what is the life cycle of any HR or recruitment when there is a person who is leaving your organization to another company or hopping in from other company to yours?
So the first impact, what I really feel is the indirect loss which we have with the customer, because we are losing a person who already got enabled in the system. So that is something which we cannot replace immediately. But the resourceability, the kind of engagement which we build, I think that takes a big journey.
May I have your views on this, Garima?
The kind of engagement the HR department, the leaders, the department heads does with the person, this all is actually the opportunity cost. What we call the opportunity cost is opportunity loss.
May we have your views as well, Anusha?
I feel it's working either ways, both ways. Employees are leaving, at the same time the organizations are putting their best efforts to retain employees. I think the organizations also are pulling up their socks to retain employees than bringing somebody new on board. Getting that 40% and retain the employees better than getting a person with a 40% hike from other organization.
So expanding on that, Dr. Lakshman, what if somebody upfront says, I have other offers? How would you want to respond?
I think most of the recruiters these days are under the pressure to close the positions rather than understanding the sensitivity of the business, because we are just moving the problem from today to tomorrow. I saw a 3 years, 4 years guy going from 5 lakhs to 30 to 35 lakhs, and there was no assurance that he will join us. And after all the effort, he didn't join. So what is happening is, in that 32 lakhs, I would have hired 5 people if I look at only the resource cost. So what is happening is it will hit your bottom line, and most importantly is when you're getting that kind of person in the system, it will impact your existing workforce.
Continuing on the same line, what if an employee doesn't turn up, doesn't join, or is absconding? How would you respond to that?
These employees, when they don't show up, it really actually hurts. Actually, first the deliverables are not on time, then it hurts the enthusiasm and of the HR department, and of course the team, because team is also waiting for an assert to come and join.
Maybe Garima, you were wanting to continue the same. Any example you would like to quote of employee demanding more within a few weeks of joining in? Continuation.
In fact, on the day of joining also, they start demanding the joining bonus, and they say that we have an offer, but since I have given a word to you, so you give me joining bonus, I'll join you. So that kind of situations also I've faced. There is a competition in the talent acquisition team, okay, but then somewhere down the line, we think, okay, that person is rejecting, or let's say he is doing window shopping, he may do with my offer also. Right? So that kind of maturity has started developing in the talent acquisition team, in the HR, okay, that how to play smart. If somebody is playing smart, you have to actually change your strategies. You can't succumb to pressures and get disappointments.
Maybe Anusha, you would like to add on to it? Your experiences with some examples?
Somebody who's open about their offers is not always negative, I think. I think it's quite tells the honesty about the person. They tell what their perspective is, what they're looking for, sort of things. So sometimes it's okay to know what their offers are, where are they from, and people these days are very open about what organizations they have offers from. So that also gives us an aspect, should we really pursue this guy or no?
See, every company invests in the incentives to retain. Despite that, do you see the loyalty from their part towards the company?
When you're offering a job, this joining bonus, relocation, this is all a bouquet of benefits which will be a temporary breather for an individual. So if you want to really engage a candidate, you need to understand what is their motive. Until you understand the individual motive, you will not be able to attract.
Yes, there needs to be a check system, a kind of a regulatory system for visibility, as you were mentioning. So how do you think we can make this cycle, the employer-employee transaction cycle, easy?
So visibility can be when like we all are connected. Maybe it will take time, but at least I will have a person who will join me, at least, rather than having 2-3 offers and nobody is joining or no show.
So, Dr. Lakshman, would you like to throw some light on the ease of the transaction cycle? The same thing, employer-employee transaction cycle.
Candidates don't decline offer just because of money. That is a perception.
Yes.
Money is always a driving factor, but that is not everything. As
Absolutely.
Anisha mentioned,
Yes.
somebody from 50 lakhs to 40 lakhs is coming. He knows where he stands or she stands. So that way, the position of the opportunity is very important. As an employer, also, you need to put a top-down approach, translate your vision and the objective. Unless you know what is the plan you have as an organization, and you cascade in the talent war saying that it is not possible, I'm not getting, you will always lose.
Absolutely. So let's all work towards a win-win-win situation for all of them, and on top of it, impacting India globally such that we don't lose out the opportunities to the offshore competing countries.
Yes.
Thank you so much for participating in this discussion.
We heard the HR team, the recruiter team just now saying that we have a lot of problems, we go through a lot of pressure. It's very tough to get a talent, the right talent onto the board. So having the impact that we are seeing right now, be it moonlighting, absconding, too many offers, there's no ethics. So what do you think the impact could be for the nation and for the IT sector? I would ask that question to Ashok first, then we'll go with Lekha ma'am.
Like you said, we are a 23-year-old company, and when I started this, we wanted to be in India, we wanted to work out of India, right? When you said nation, now we have actually started our center in Vietnam. Because we have trouble hiring people in India. So that's the big loss to the nation. So we really don't know how many countries we go, if the problem persists and continue.
So what would you say, ma'am, Lekha ma'am?
The problems are real, but I think we've got to stop looking at the short-term win, right? We've always had a demographic dividend as far as the strength of IT, the pool is concerned. However, we are definitely losing the economic strength. The sustainability of our organizations, of our country is going to be impacted. Please understand, every time they come in and they ask for a higher salary, every time they come in and negotiate, like somebody said, and I like that word, auctioning with offers in hand. So if this same habit is going to continue, forget about the global world. We are going to actually have small retailers, we're going to have businesses, we're going to have manufacturing industries, all of them finally hiring people from outside to solve their problems while we have the talent internally. So it's going to become a problem which is going to impact almost every other industry. The rate card is not going to change. My employee spend is going to increase because of this. Where are we finally going to be getting our business sustainability from? And I do understand from the business perspective that you do need to have your projects delivered and you want to do it right on time.
Now the customers are actually asking, no, I want to see the real, they actually want to see the people before even they want to start the negotiation.
Correct. They literally wanted to see the bench, and they also wanted to check if they are really your employees or you're actually giving the wrong names.
There's another problem that happens is that the persons on the bench don't like to be on the bench, right?
In the year 20 to 2023, in the past 3 years, we are closer to 1,100 startups in this country. 1,100 startups, which mark my words very carefully, which required 470,000 resources to complete a task, not employees. 470,000 resources means skills to complete certain level of tasks, including development, rolling out platform like you guys did with 115 people. Not every startup hired people. And these are the guys who went and flooded the market in terms of asking for people to come and serve me. Hey, kar de yaar. This country is poised to employ 304 million tech guys in the next decade. 304 million, it's a whopping number. But do you also understand another statistics? Only 27 million of them will be deployable, employable. The country is going towards lack of skills, please understand.
Yes.
Those who are getting hired, those who are getting multiple offers, those who are working too many jobs are called SMEs,
Yes.
subject matter experts. Those who are not getting such opportunity are part of a team called Monday. India will become the biggest market for gig. By the year 2030, please hold your breath, $430 billion as a gig worker will emerge from this country. Will be 1.7 times bigger than US.
Yep.
Almost this 1.3 million IT workforce, they are all gig economy on the sides. One of the suggestions which I really want to put forward to you is making the enterprise as your subscriber, ensure those who are applying for the job, if they really want that integrity metrics to go to the top, they should be registered with you.
Yes. So
That's where the game begins.
having that exponential growth opportunities in the IT sector. So what do you think is very important that we should take care at this point of a time?
When you really look at hiring people, right? The trouble we face is only when we do a lateral hiring. And business wants to recruit today, I want somebody like yesterday. Until and unless enterprises don't start looking within of setting up a process of building skills.
Correct.
That's the only way forward for you not to fall prey for such.
From your response, what I understand is skill people first, and this actually solves the minimum of the problem.
Good old days, we used to have something called job rotation. We now talk about skill rotation. That means you are a Java guy for 3 years and I can't give you the next level to you because you are Java. You're killed. So we are not willing to do the skill rotation. That's where you need to open the door internally.
My next question would be for Lekha Garu. Do you really see a system, a mechanism in India that actually can help us, any organization or any controlling system that we have, to nullify the problems that we are having at this point of time, that will help us to get to that level over a period of 10 or 15 years from now?
So I'd like to respond first to 2 points that he had stated. One is about the gig workers, and I do understand that it is going to be, we are in that stage of gig economy. And I think the people who are conducting these gigs should understand that I, as a employer, when I hire you full-time and you're going ahead and doing 2-3 gigs, I am lifting the cost of the entire employee, whether it is insurance, PF, your, even the liability that I have, your desk cost, everything I'm lifting. I am giving you 8 hours off or 16 hours off to be able to go ahead and recuperate and come back. You go ahead and have a gig on the rest of the time. Why should I pay you, or why should I be the person who's going to be taking that cost at all? Please go ahead and become a gig worker for me too. And the other point, I think, which is a very valid point, is that HR looks generally at only the time at desk. Not correct. I think what we need to do, and what is happening in most places, is we need to look more at the deliverables of people, right? So those are the 2 points.
Do you think, is there any regulatory system or any system that is prevalent in India for us to overcome the challenges that we are going through as an organization, as a nation?
Absolutely not, okay? I don't think there's anybody who can answer this problem, and I'm hoping NERS is going to be the way forward, and it has to be definitely a top-down. It's got to be, while you said that yes, every individual employee needs to sign on, I do believe that unless the government makes sure that every employer first signs on, and every employer says, I'm not going to hire anybody but somebody who has shown the highest degree of integrity by registering on NERS, I don't think the problem is going to go away.
That's exactly our approach. So we wanted to connect with the regulatory systems, be it NASSCOM, HIC, CETA. We wanted to. So my immediate next question would be, do you think these systems, or maybe the government or the organization, should be really focusing on employee, just on employee, or it has to be both the ways? Okay.
While we have bodies like NASSCOM, while we have bodies like CIA or many other representation for IT and non-IT industry in this country, do we have sufficient database which will fulfill or propel the requirement what we're talking about?
Yes.
To that, my question is, the answer is no.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But do we realize that we need one?
Yes.
My answer to that, yes, we need one time now.
Yes.
We need to have, because the working database will get further classified to the domestic consumption and to the international consumption.
So what you're saying, it should be both ways. It should be for both the employees, and it should be a common database with the privacy. Yeah, thank you. You have an answer.
I think it's not just the employee and the employer. I think whoever is making this database needs to look at it, and the fact that the push has to come from the government. It has to be a future vision.
Do you think the policy or maybe the regulatory system towards the employee or towards the employer? So how this system has to be built?
It's both. I mean, okay, you are free to write about organization, right? I also need to know about the employee, how this, whether should I hire or not, right?
Do you think will a regulatory system or a system something like us is giving a visibility about the employer as well as the employee would be accepted by this IT ecosystem? Maybe I would like to hear from Ravi.
Whether you want to say acceptability will be there between employer and employee, the fact remains is that this is the need of the hour. There are few things we can't do away with. The more and more systems like yours, which will bring a connect through transparency, that's the most important
Yes,
thing.
it is.
And the process of hiring for a non-Indian tech firm or non-tech firm who is outside of India will have all the more confident in terms of ease of hiring.
Yep.
He knows that he is getting the right amount of skill.
Yes.
He knows that he is getting a right amount of ethically trained skill, and he also knows that he is hiring a skill which is credibility is proven.
Yep.
Therefore, such kind of a platforms is very important. I mean, and the timing is perfect. The need of the hour, it's required. Therefore, acceptability is taken for granted.
Thank you.
Don't even think whether employees will accept or employees will accept. Listen, I'm not looking at your CV. If you're not part of the system, end of the story.
If you have that system in your place, so no, I don't again need to hire a company to do the background check,
Yes.
right? If system can give me that and instantly, right? Because you are already building the history of the person, right?
We are actually including the credibility report for the employee. So it looks exactly like a sybil.
I think we need to be able to inculcate this throughout the entire ecosystem. It's got to be right from the academic institutions through to the employers and the employees. And at the beginning, it will need to be forced.
Yes.
So that is where I'm expecting and hoping that associations and the government should force employers and employees to be part of this.
Yeah.
Because until that is done, it's not going
It's
to
not
be
good.
successful.
Thanks for that. So I would like to conclude. So there is a real problem today. There is a regulatory system which is required for us, and it has to come from the top-down approach. Connecting with government, connecting with the institutions, and to favor both the employees as well as the employer. So that I would like to conclude.
So it's time for all of us really to adapt to the change.
We should do something that could actually avoid these instances. We started building a platform.
NERS is built for IT ecosystem to avoid risk related to resource absconding, moonlighting, offer dropouts, and scouting. It gives the opportunity for the employee and the employer to bring back the ethical practices and make India a country to do IT business.
We strongly believe that NERS should become an industry practice, not just another application, to retain our footprint in the global IT industries. With this, I urge every IT organization to build the ethical work culture. It is time for us to shift our focus beyond these issues.